What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6. I think I'm always off by one day. Is this 15? This might be 15. Episode 15 of Contemplations with Austin. If this is 16, welcome to 16. If it's not, we're chilling here at 15. Feels like I've done 40 of these already, if I'm being honest. I think this everyday thing is having time meld works. Melt together. And yeah, also the day, for anybody that does not know, CERN, it's the particle accelerator that's been operating since 2012 and on the border of Switzerland and France. A lot of people said in 2012 that this is when the Mandela effect started kicking off, because they have this particle accelerator that opened up other dimensional. This is like the esoteric and spiritual side of things. Not, you won't find anybody in science saying this, but you know what you're here for. You're here for the edgy shit. So let's get into it. Yeah, CERN. That's when things like Fruit of the Loom. Some people remember the cornucopia as part of it. Some people don't. Some people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison. Some people don't. Some people remember Jif peanut butter. I remember Jiffy peanut butter. What other things were there? Yeah, all these weird anomalies and timelines where people are like, no, I remembered exactly this way. And then the evidence or proof we have now is not that way. So a lot of people think that in 2012, when CERN got kicked on and we started messing around with bumping particles together at near light speed and breaking them apart to figure out what they were doing, that we started messing with some shit, some dimensional shit that got a little wanky. And, it kicked on earlier than that, not in 2012. I think they did an update in 2012 because they also kicked it on or turned it off in 2008, and 8 days later the stock market crashed. And yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I'm just riffing. Anyway, that shut off again. Shut off on the 26th over the weekend, I believe it was Saturday maybe. And so time might feel a little different if you're in the borderline esoteric, conspiratorial, spiritual space. You might start to notice life as a little different, more calm. That's what they say. It shut off for 4 years while they do updates to make it do even wilder shit. So here we go. We got a 4-year lag. Anyway, yeah, these days are blending together. With the rapidity of processes that are hitting me in my life, and the podcast and changes in Entheos coming and teaching and all just the wild stuff happening, man. It's good to be here with y'all. Today, what did I kick in with? Mr. Michael Reed, what's up, bro? Coming in with the practice of witnessing our thoughts and knowing we are not our thoughts. Before we get in, this podcast is brought to you by Entheos Holistics. If you're curious about microdosing or community, one of the things that is so beautiful happening with Entheos is it's not even about microdosing anymore. It's about broader teachings. It's about the community. It's about coming together. We're getting ready to launch our offering publicly. We've been playing with it for a few months. It's called Premium because of school, but that's not the name. It's the Inner Sanctuary, and it's for a fixed dollar cost a month. You get 16 calls with all these different facilitators, group channeling, women's circles, men's groups, teachings with me, mini cohorts, Q&As with me, Tyler, Joey, all this incredible offerings, pre-access to different things. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming. So if you are looking for community, if you're looking for a place to grow, to learn, and really discover yourself, that's the entire premise of the Entheos Holistics community, the Entheos Collective, is we are here to seek the path of authenticity together. And in the mirror of each other, we get to learn who we are. Okay. What was it? What are we doing? And also, thank you for the comments, for people that are reaching out, for sharing the reflections. Yeah, again, I'll say it every episode. It means so much. I think I talked a little bit about on this last episode as I'm working through the realization of what the shadow of this unworthiness wound has represented. It's like I've done so much work on that throughout my life, but there's always a layer and a level that I get to meet, and I'm like, oh, wow, you're showing up that way. instead of making that part wrong and be like, oh, I thought I healed from this, just realizing like, oh, beautiful. This is a new way of meeting myself inside of that. It's been so beautiful to receive those reflections. And even inside that, maybe this is something that'll help y'all. You know, something I noticed over the last few days talking to Chris and just different people in my life is realizing that the way that wound showed up is I'll receive these beautiful reflections and love from people, and I can feel that it doesn't land. It's like intellectually I'm receiving the gift in the way you see me. Like, thank you so much, and the messages and the comments that mean so much. And I'll have these periods of time where it's like it'll land and I feel it, and I'm like, that feels so good, and like, thank you, I'm so happy to serve this way. And then there's lands I can feel, or times that I can only feel land in my mind. And that's the period I was in. And I was intellectualizing what I was doing instead of feeling it. And yeah, I just got to meet that part and figure it back out and find my path back to rediscover my worth in this life. Maybe it's a lifelong thing. I don't know. I pray it's not. I pray we all get to discover our worth and step into the abundance and the service and the being able to see ourselves at such a deep level that we don't need other people to see us. And the beauty of when other people see us is we get to share love with each other. So I'll leave that there. The contemplation today, the practice of witnessing our own thoughts and knowing we are not our thoughts. Michael Reed coming in. Yeah, I like this one. I talk about this a lot. So my belief, that's what we're here for. I'm just riffing. I don't claim that anything I'm saying is the ultimate truth. I'm here to speak what feels true for me, to hopefully give you permission to find what's true for you. And if you disagree, contemplate that. Why? And if you do agree, contemplate that too. Why do you agree? Are you just agreeing blindly because you like me? Or does something feel true? Or are you disagreeing blindly because of your own programming? Or does it feel true? Like, this is what I want all of us to just do for ourselves, not for anybody else. Like, let me play with my own concepts of what I believe this is. That's the whole purpose of this podcast. I don't claim to know the ultimate truth. I don't want to know the ultimate truth. What's fun for me is I get to play with these ideas out loud and invite you into it. And we get to have some discourse, and I get to discover what you like and what you don't like. And sometimes I get off these episodes and I'll think back. I'm like, I said some shit that it's already feeling like it's changing. Like, I'm just talking about these things out loud allows me to meet when I say things like, oh, that feels like more true than I was giving myself credit for. And sometimes I say things I'm like, I need to explore that a little bit more. And that's kind of the purpose. So witnessing, I'm going to read this one more time. The practice of witnessing our own thoughts and knowing we are not our thoughts. That's where I was. My belief is that this expression that we came into this life with, I talk about the soul. Let's use the word soul for now. It has this blueprint that knows the mission I came into this life with. I played a lot of video games growing up. One of my tangent stories for y'all. I'm often told these are sometimes the favorite parts. I grew up in the video game era. I was a 90s kid. And I remember Nintendo and coming out, and then we got the Sega, and then the N64, and then the PlayStation, and just all the memories of playing Smash Bros. With my friends. Warcraft 3 was the first game I got a PlayStation. I was so obsessed with that game. And then shout out Warren Johnson, one of my homies for 6th grade. How long is that? I can't even do math. I need to do these. I'm better at these earlier in the day, I think. It's 4:20 right now. Shout out. Shout out to that can of bliss. I'm going to break in this 40 days. I do miss that plant. I love it, but I'm in a place of rediscovering a healthy relationship to it. Anyway, shout out Warren J. We met at a golf course in 6th grade. And then, yeah, became best friends for 20 plus years. After that, best man at his wedding. We haven't talked in a while. I gotta give you a call, Warren. Anyway. Why did I bring him? Oh, we played the first time Xbox Live went live. I would always go to his house after football practice or track practice, and we'd hop on Halo. Yeah, video games were a big part of my life for a long time. I love them. And there's this thing inside the video game where my favorite type of video games were called RPGs, role-playing games, or MMORPGs, massive multiplayer online role-playing game. And so some you might have heard of as World of Warcraft. Funny enough, I never got into World of Warcraft, but I played some games that were similar to it. Eve, Ion, MU Online, Baldur's Gate. Nope, that wasn't an MMO. RuneScape, throwback to the OG RuneScape. If you have ever played RuneScape, please drop a comment. Shout out to the 2D version of games. That is the greatest game I ever played in my life. And through the period, that 20-year period of my life where I was just distracting and numbing and suppressing so much of the discomfort and the trauma and stuff that I didn't even know about myself yet, video games were a big part of that. And I had somewhere around 14,000 hours worth of video games by the time I quit playing. How many days of my life is that? That's fucking wild. $580 days of my life. And that's just what I could measure. That's just what Xbox Live showed me, and Steam, which is like a computer engine that also measured, so you upload your games. So how many hours of games that I couldn't measure because I had that data? So it's like hundreds and 583 days of my life in front of a computer screen or a TV screen. Whew, it's wild. But here's the thing I learned about video games. We're playing a video game, y'all. Literally. Life, the human experience is a video game. And I don't even mean that as like, ha ha ha, we're in a video game. Literally, we're playing a video game. Here's what I mean. So, one of my favorite video games of all time, Skyrim, that whole series. Skyrim was the shit. Actually, Dark Souls might be my... Dark Souls is epic. But let's take Skyrim, for example. You come into this world as a character, and you got nothing. You got no armor, you got no weapons, you got no experience points, you have no skills, you have no stats, you have nothing. And it's this open world thing where you just start exploring. You can hunt and you can kill things and you get quests and missions and all. It's like this open world thing where you are the me looking at the screen. I'm watching this character go through this open world, picking up armors and skills and learning things and finishing quests and getting experience points and getting stronger and more intelligent, learning spells. And is that not life? I'm just constant. When I talk about the ping and the whisper, y'all, here's a fun way of playing with the ping. The ping is a quest. Yeah. Because when you complete a quest, you get experience points. And when you get enough experience points, you level up. And sometimes those experience points could be general, and I get to choose how I level up. And sometimes those experience points go directly to my strength or my intelligence or my magic or whatever it might be. My health bar, my stamina bar. When I work out, I get experience points towards my stamina. And when I meet somebody in this life, and it's like, whoa, we got some sort of thing. We got some sort of soul contract happening right here. That's like a quest between those two people. My soul found your soul. And so like when I think about the video game, I think it was so exciting because what I don't think I have the capability of doing in my life, I can do on the screen. And so it becomes obsessive. It's like, it's so much fun, but we can do that in real life. The pings are quests that our soul gives us. Follow the quest and you will grow. Fear is saying like, fear is like the entry door to these dungeons I used to go in. It's like at the end of that thing, you go through this battle, and then in the end, you slay this big monster, and then you get this chest or reward from it. It's like that's what fear is. It's these dungeons that we get to enter into, and on the other side of fear, we always get a treasure. Like life is literally a video game. And so this is how let's go back to the practice of witnessing our thoughts and knowing what are not our thoughts. It is the practice of realizing that I am just watching an avatar. The Mantid episode I dropped, I was so afraid to talk about that publicly. Now I don't give a shit. Somebody commented on my Facebook reel that went out about the podcast. They're like, the Mantids? Somebody I grew up in church with. She's one of my mom's friends. I'm like, what is she going to think? She's like, what the Mantids? Question mark. I was like, go listen to episode 6. I don't know if she will. We'll see. We'll see. If you do, what's up, Terry? Shout out. Good to have you here. You saw me at church when I was walking around in diapers back then. Wild. Y'all, we're playing a video game. And so the practice of witnessing our thoughts is the practice of witnessing your life. The practice of witnessing your thoughts is realizing that I am just watching the movie of Austin West. I'm watching the same movie y'all are. If I say some shit where you're like, that's weird, that's dumb, or that's far-fetched, or you sound crazy, it's like, I think so too. I'm watching the same movie. I also think the shit that I say sometimes is wild. I also think my movie is wild. And the better I get at creating enough space and distance between me and my experience of life, the more I detach, go listen to that episode, from my experience of life. So I allow life to move through me. Thoughts are no different than my direct experience. And I talk about this in my teachings, like so much of what we do is we're stuck. Like we're not creating enough separation between us and our parts. And our parts are the actors playing out the role. I don't want to get too much into parts work on this. Our expression, like if we don't create enough spaciousness by being able to observe the experience of life, we start identifying with everything, and that's where suffering comes in. I identify with my thoughts. Feel into this. Like there's such a big difference between if I think like, oh, that was so dumb, I'm literally taking on the identity that my thought gave me that I think myself dumb. And so then I'm going to walk through all of life looking for confirmations to prove that I'm dumb. Compared to if that thought comes in, I can, whoa, I have enough spaciousness to witness, like, why would I say that about myself? I'm not identifying. Then I can bring in curiosity. And so part of the practice of witnessing life is how curious can we be about life? How curious can we be about life? Why did I have that thought? Why do you think this podcast is called Contemplations? I'm curious about my thoughts. I'm curious about what I think about different things and putting myself in a challenging position to contemplate this shit out loud in front of y'all, having 45-second heads up before I click record on these episodes. I'm curious about what I'm going to say. My curiosity is the thing that allowed me to confront my fear of doing this in the first place. My curiosity about why I think certain things allows me to have a lot more compassion and empathy for myself inside of my thoughts because I don't need to identify. I get to witness them. And in the witnessing of them and the separation of them, I create enough distance to just observe. So it's like knowing you're not your thought. Just make that choice. I am not my thoughts. Bam. Bada boom, bada bang, bam. You just chose that you know you're not your thoughts. Now, inside of that, get curious about everything. And zoom out that this is less about thoughts and this is all about life. And I talk about that I need to stop saying I talk about it and I just need to talk about it. I don't know why I preface that so much. See? I'm curious. Like, why do I preface that so much? It's like, not everybody's in my cohort, so it's not everyone's going to know that. So just talk about it. I think I preface it as this like way of creating a buffer of like, oh, here he is talking about that again. But who gives a shit? I'm just going to start riffing. I'm getting a lot more comfortable on this mic, if you can't tell. What was I saying? It'll come back if it's important. Being the witness. It's witnessing everything in my life. That's where I'm at. This is my goal. I'm trying to detach from all of my symbolism. Here we go. I found it. Came back. I believe everything, every single thing is symbolism. Everything. There's not a single thing that happens in my life that is not an accident. I'm sorry. Nothing in my life is an accident. Everything has such deeply profound purpose to it. My mind will never comprehend it. And in that knowing that I'll never comprehend it, I can bring curiosity and I get to explore what is the symbolism behind what's happening right now? What is this teaching me about myself? What is this calling me into? What is this showing me about my experience of life? And if everything is symbolism, then nothing is coincidence, which means everything is synchronicity as well. And so when you start to notice synchronicities, you're just noticing what's already there. You're getting closer to the alignment and the track that you're meant to be on in life. Because when we are in alignment, when we are in flow, everything feels like synchronicity. Everything feels like, oh my God, everything's in flow. Like, what's going on? And so this is the way I look at life. everything is symbolic of something, of a part of me. And so if I can witness all of it and then bring curiosity to all of it and then realize that curiosity, there's a symbolic meaning behind everything that I'm witnessing inside of the curiosity, I get to learn so quick. It becomes fun. Things that used to decimate me, put me in depressive states, make me challenged. And it's not that I deal with challenge all the time. I talk about it, but I navigate it and I get through it so much quicker, and I learn and I grow from it and I heal from it because of these principles. I identify with none of it. That's not to say I don't have identities in this life. I do. I'm still trying to seek those out. The more I learn to witness my experience, because I know I am not this experience. I know that there is going to be a version of me that lives past the death of this, and there'll be a multitude and millions and infinite parts of me that will continue to live out through my soul's expression. But here, right now, my soul is choosing this moment for me to witness things exactly as they are. And through the witnessing things exactly as they are, do I trust in God enough to know that it's all so perfect? And if it's perfect, bringing the curiosity in to find what the symbolic representation of what's happening is, and then I start the process all over again. And this brings me so much, it alleviates so much of life's tension. That one was bouncy, but I think I touched on it. Witness, y'all. And parts work, I'll go into that at I think somebody submitted. It's part of it. It's like anything that I'm doing in my experience of life is not me. I'm the guy playing the video game. I'm witnessing all the things happening. And I'm going to have a lot of different parts in that experience. I'm going to learn a lot of different things. There's going to be a lot of things that come up, a lot of different quests. But let's follow the quests. This reminds me, I was building a video game at one point called The Game of Life. And it was this self-healing journey that gave you experience points for tracking this thing. I imagine somebody will do, especially with how AI is coming. But we get to have fun. We get to grow through challenge. We get to bring curiosity to the hardest moments. We get to de-identify. We get to detach. And we get to be the witness and the observer of all things and realize that I choose how I react to all of it. Thanks, y'all. That feels complete. Until tomorrow, have a blessed day. Love y'all so much. We'll talk soon.